Welcome to Wednesday night, F412. We are so glad you have decided to join us tonight. A few announcements before we begin this evening. One, we actually have a YouTube channel now. So after this video is done, it will be published to YouTube. So what you can do, if you want to share this with a friend and they don't have Facebook, you can point them to YouTube, tell them to type in F412, and then search, and it'll be like the second or third one down. You'll see our nice logo, and click on that, and then they can watch the recording from there. It's gonna be really cool. We're excited, so share that. Second thing, if you need any help with anything, and we can help, as in F412, as in Auburn Church Nazarene, if we can help, we will. Whether that's helping you go get groceries, picking you up, taking you from point A to point B, if it's essential, please let us know. We will figure something out to try to help get something done. As always, please like, share, comment, post, whatever you need to do on the comments on this video so that we know you're here and we know that who we're reaching, kind of a thing. So start off with a little story. Beth and I were driving a church van in Muncie, Indiana, late one night, and we were coming back to get our car, and a massive monster storm had just come in, and it is super windy, and it is raining cats and dogs, torrential downpour just coming down, and we're driving back to the church to pick up, hey Caden, hey Beth, pick up our car. And we're coming around this corner and going down this road that has a wide turn in it. And we're going along, and I'm doing about 20 miles an hour, and I have to slam on my brakes and stop in the middle of the road because there's this big giant telephone pole that had fallen in the middle of the road. So after a second of gathering myself and figuring out what to do, and again it's super windy, downpour, we decide to call 911. So we call 911, we tell them where we're at, what we see, all this stuff, and they tell us that someone's coming in a little bit. I'm like, okay. And about the time I hang up, a car's coming. And so I am flashing my lights, I'm honking my horn, doing whatever I can to get them to stop. If I would have known Morse code and honk, go away, stop, I probably would have done that. I don't know Morse code, so I didn't get to do that. Eventually, they got the picture, and so we're sitting there, and we can't leave. We just can't leave this. Someone else might not see this. Someone else might try to run over a telephone pole. So I decided to turn my van perpendicular to the road so that nobody gets around me. Nobody. I'm blocking the entire road, and we wait. And about 20 minutes later, and about 8 angry cars later, the fire department come and relieve us, so we get to go home. Tonight we are talking and looking at a few people in the Bible in Exodus. We have Moses, Joshua, Aaron, Hur, H-U-R, and this is a dude, I'll explain in a minute, and the Amalekites. So we have Moses. Moses is the leader of the Israelites. This is in the Exodus, hence the name of the book, and they're leaving Egypt, going out to the Promised Land, and he is their leader. Then we have Joshua. He was the military commander. He was the general of the armies. He was the fighter. He led the battles. He constructed the battles. He was the dude. If you were going to war, you wanted him to lead. Then we have Aaron, the high priest. He was in charge of the sacrifices for all of Israel and making sure everything is the way it should be and how it was supposed to be according to the law. And then we have Hur, H-U-R. And scholars believe he was the husband of Moses' sister Miriam. Then we have the Amalekites. Who were the Amalekites? These guys lived in the desert south of Canaan. Amalek was the son of Ephaz and became the clan or the chief, the leader of the tribe of Elsa, not Elsa, not let it go, Elsa. The Amalekites were distant cousins to the Israelites, so they kind of knew, were familiar. And you're like, Mark, okay, that's who they are. What did they do? In Deuteronomy 25:18, it says, when you were weary, meaning the Israelites, and worn out, they met you on your journey, meaning the Amalekites, and cut off all who are lagging behind. They had no fear of God. So imagine with me this great, big, huge, long trail of people. And at the very end are the tired, the weary, slower than everybody else. And these Amalekites came and they attacked the very end of this big, long line. So let's see what happens in Exodus 17, starting at verse 8. The Amalekites came and attacked the Israelites at Rehoboam. Moses said to Joshua, choose some of your men to go out and fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I'll stand on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hands. Staff of God. Do not forget that. We're coming back to it. Staff of God in his hands. Moses had the staff of God in his hands. Put that back. So Joshua had fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered. And Moses and Aaron and Hur, H-U-R, went up to the top of the hill. As long as Moses held up his hands, the Israelites were winning. But whenever he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning. When Moses' hands grew tired, they took a stone and he put it on him so he could sit on it. And Aaron and Hur held up his hands, one on one side and one on the other, so that his hands remained steady until sunset. So Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. With the sword. Don't forget that. We're coming back to that. Hey, Doug. Hey, Clay. Nice to see you, buddy. So we have two elements. We have the sword that was in Joshua's hand, and the staff. The divine symbol of divine intervention in Moses' hand. So once again, we have in history, in the Bible, we have God and man working together, linked together, carrying out the will of God. So looking back at the night where I stopped in front of the telephone pole in that massive storm, I didn't realize it at the time, but I was supporting the firefighters that night by keeping people safe and blocking the road. Moses had the support he needed from Aaron and Hur, and then Joshua and the Israelites who were fighting down in the valley had the support from God to win the battle. So here are some ways we can support one another during this lockdown. Pray. Pray for ourselves. Pray for our families. Pray for those affected by the coronavirus. Pray for doctors and nurses who are literally on the front lines fighting this battle. Pray for researchers in our government to make the right decisions. Pray for resources to get where they need to be. Pray. Second thing we can do is share some love. So that's encouraging one another. Maybe that's through a phone call. Maybe that's through a text. Maybe that's through some FaceTime. Maybe that's Duo. Maybe that's Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, whatever you can do, whatever outlet you can do to connect with others, do it. Maybe that's just shouting across the road and be like, hey, I love you. You know, whatever it takes to share some love. Maybe that's sharing some positive music. Maybe that's just sharing some silly videos to some friends because it's awesome and people could use hope and a little bit of laughter in these days. And then you can share. Like, I'm talking 5-year-old you, your mom tells you to share. You need to share. If you see a need and you can do something about it and you have something, then do it. And if you can't do something about it, let me know, and maybe you and I together, we can do something about it. And then finally, I'd ask that you point each other to Jesus. Share scripture on social media. You say, Mark, I don't know the Bible that well. How am I going to share social media? How am I going to share the Bible scriptures on social media? Here's what you can do. You got Google, right? You can do www.google.com. Click Scriptures on Hope. Enter. Hi, Mariah. And then you scroll down. Click on one of those. It opens up. And there's a whole bunch of scriptures on hope. You copy. You take it over here. You paste. You put it on your Facebook and you click post. Wow. Boom. Done. It is that easy. You can tell people you're praying for them and then actually pray for them. That would be huge. Maybe you share some of your worship songs, but the whole time you're bringing hope and love of Jesus to others as well as you can. So my challenge for you tonight is, how are you supporting each other in this time? How can we be Jesus to someone else when it is just crazy? Whatever that looks like, it starts at home. So go do it. And then tell me about it. Message me. Post it on Facebook. Let me know what you did. Let me know how you were the hands and feet of Jesus. All right? This is Mark Mahoney from Auburn Church of Nazarene, representing F412 Student Ministries, and we will see you next week.